we need to be making these investments, and we need to be doing it yesterday. And they were doing it yesterday in the sense that they've been doing this for a number of years, building up to this capability. And by far, HSBC and Philip and his team are one of the leaders. He's also got JP Morgan Chase and a number of others who have invested in quantum, whether it's strictly optimization or building up those firewalls I talked about. I'm very excited about it. If someone said, can you take quantum computing off the shelf? We're nowhere near there. But if you want to get your team thinking about the future and your competitiveness, now is absolutely the time.
So, how would you define quantum readiness for enterprises today?
Mm-hmm. So, if you had asked me that question 4 years ago, I would have had the comment that said, well, at least have one person on your team that's actually thinking through what quantum means. But we're well beyond that. We now need to know that we've got partners who have good solutions, reliable solutions for any of those priorities. You need to understand what the government is starting to put out into the marketplace in terms of compliance measures, or what they're doing for their departments. So if every single department of a government unit has to have a plan for quantum technologies, then what does that plan look like, and how does that relate to us? There's so much potential for an organization to spin their wheels on understanding what's truly a breakthrough in a technology. Is it 56 cubics is good, or 6,000 is good? Just like I posted on LinkedIn today, there are a number of Substack writers and LinkedIn writers who are very credible in their positions on quantum computing technology. And organizations are going to save a lot of time if they're reading those Substacks and really getting a good idea of what's credible, what's not so credible, and get a balanced view. So I've talked about the people, I've talked about the vendors, I've talked about the government, and I've talked about some resources, but it's also the investment. There's lots of investment in the industry, but most of that investment in 2025 has been national governments. You look back to 2023, there was a lot of investment from the venture capital world. In 2025, big investments from the government environment. And so organizations need to think about their own IT portfolios and how can they insert the quantum technology. So I think I've given them, maybe 5 different ways that organizations can really sort of get going.
Right.